Today, what I want to cover is how to become a big fish in a small pond, how to become the go-to business in your niche, and how to be able to lift your prices as a result of that as well. And it's all about becoming decommoditized and unique. So what I'd like to do is just run through the slides as quickly as possible. And then I've also attached or given you access to a worksheet. And at the end of the slides, then we can quickly run through a worksheet example and give you an idea of what you need to do to be able to, do the work to implement this. Okay, so guys, let's kick off. So what is today really about? It's almost about the fastest path to the money, right? You've got to find a way to attract more clients, get them to buy faster, and to be able to sell at higher prices, right? So there's a path that you need to take to get you there, and it's not the well-trodden path, right? It's a different path. So let's just start with some of the facts that small businesses sit with. Nothing kills a business faster than no money. We know that, right? You can have a great product or service and a great team and everything else, but if you've got no money and no cash, that's the end of the business, right? Second thing is, if you have more money, you'll be amazed at what business problems that money can actually solve for you, right? So working on generating more money is an absolute key thing, particularly for small business. I know purpose and all those other aspects are also important, but the fact of the matter is no money, no cash, no growth. Right? And when you do start to be in a position to really generate, good money and good cash flow, you're doing well, right? And if you do well, you're in a position to do good for others. And I believe, every small business should aim firstly to do well, because if you can do well, you can also do good for your community and for others as well. So why do so many small businesses plateau at a really mediocre level, right? 90% of small businesses are stuck, right? And the answers I usually get are the market's too competitive, or our clients can't buy, they're under financial pressure, our margins are too thin, advertising no longer works, online is taking over. There are a whole host of reasons that you're usually faced with when you ask that question. But the real reason is most of the time they don't have the essential marketing fundamentals in place. The fundamentals that are going to differentiate them in the market and attract the kind of clients that they want to attract. So the question you've got to ask yourself openly and honestly is why anyone would choose you and your business over your competition. Why would they choose you? If you're an attorney, why would they pick you over somebody else? If you're an accountant and there are hundreds of accountants around, why would they pick you? If you're selling a particular type of commodity or whatever, why should they pick you? If you're a managed IT service supplier, there are a lot of those around. Why should they pick you? Website developer, whatever it is. Okay. Here's the key. Your prospects tune into a radio station. When they see your ads or your website or landing page, or they hear you talk about your business, they tune into this radio station, WII, and it's an FM radio station, and it stands for what's in it for me. Right? What's in it for me? We're all self-serving creatures, and the reality is nobody actually cares about you or your business. All they care about is, can it help solve my problem, right? So you must give your potential clients a compelling enough self-serving reason to buy from you. If you don't do that, they're going to switch off, right? You've got to be able to make your business stand out utterly and completely from your competitors. You've got to be absolutely unique, right? And the key to separating yourself from your competitors is you need that unique and compelling set of reasons. You need to give your clients a good set of reasons why people should do business with you and with no one else. And most small businesses are not doing any of this, right? So there are three big mistakes small businesses make, right? The first one is selling to anyone and everyone with a pulse. The second one is you bring no compelling advantage to the market. And the third one is you look no different to your competitors in the eyes of your prospects, right? You think you're very different, but in the eyes of your prospects, you all look the same as your competitors. So let's start off with the first one, the first mistake, right? Selling to anyone and everyone with a pulse. You know, when you usually start off on the business initially, you're just looking for anybody to buy your products and services, right? But that's not a good, sustainable way to grow the business, because selling to everyone is like selling to no one. You appeal to no one in particular, right? And so let Derek in. And basically, that's like shooting arrows into the mist, hoping you're going to hit the target, but you can't see the target out there somewhere. So you just shoot more and more arrows, and all those arrows at the end of the day end up costing you money, right? So selling to anybody and everybody is not a good idea. And the reason why we sell to anybody and everybody is because of FOMO, fear of missing out, right? If we only target women with this product, you know, there are men that will buy it as well. So shouldn't we then also just advertise to men, because it makes our market a little bit bigger, right? So we've got FOMO, fear of missing out, is the big thing that prevents us or drives us to sell to anybody and everybody. Welcome, Derek. Hello, Derek, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, Peter, hi, sorry. Hello.
Yeah. Hi.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, you're welcome. So the antidote to this trying to sell to anybody and everybody is to niche down, right? And the FOMO is the thing that prevents us from doing that. Fear of missing out. We want to sell to anybody that wants to buy. But niching down has got a lot of advantages as well. So let me give you an example. Here's let's say a photographer, right? And let's say this photographer does a whole lot of services: wedding photography, sports photography, truck photography for catalogs, and that kind of thing, right? And let's say there's a whole lot more that this photographer does. Why does this photographer do that? Because he wants to sell to as many people as possible, and he believes that if he shows that to everybody, he can get a little bit of something from each one, right? But is this really compelling? So if you're a bride-to-be looking for a photographer and you see this, does this really turn you on, right? Is this something that's going to say, yes, this is the right photographer for me? Check that truck, right? Or if you're a marketing manager from a heavy-duty trucking company looking for a photograph of a truck for your brochure or a set of photographs, is that going to excite you? You're going to say, probably not. I'd rather go to a specialist who specializes in, product catalog photography, right? So the challenge with this is you try to be attractive to everybody, and you start to dilute your message. It doesn't become attractive to anyone. So the idea is rather become a big fish in a small pond, and then dominate that, dominate your category, dominate that small pond. Become the big fish in that small pond rather than a small fish in somebody else's pond, right? So the purpose of the niche and niching down is eventually it makes your price irrelevant. When you've got a solution that is highly, highly tailored just to your ideal client, you become the natural place to go to, the natural selection for that. I'm going to show you how to do that. And people are willing to pay more for that privilege as well. When when you're a specialist photographer for weddings, you're competing against other weddings, but at least you haven't got trucks and everything else on your CV, right? But if you're a wedding photographer for second time weddings of older people, as an example, you specialize in that. Well, maybe, older people who are getting married second and third time might just want to hire you and might just be willing to pay a little bit more. Right? Okay, so getting to that niche is quite important, but even more important is know your niche. So you need to get into the minds of your ideal prospects, right? So like the example of an older second time or third time marriage couple, right? You need to get into their mind, and this is what they're thinking, right? They have a problem that they don't want. And they're seeking a solution or an outcome or a result that they want that they don't have at the moment. Okay, this is super, super important if you want to attract your clients, your target audience. So let me explain. If I wake up on a Saturday morning with lower backache, right, and I've immediately got a problem I don't want. I've got this pain that I'm trying to get rid of, right? And the thing is, I don't know what solution there is, but I'm going to start looking for a solution. I'll probably hop onto Google. I'll speak to a couple of friends. I'll do a couple of things. But the thing is, mentally, I'm starting to search for a solution. Okay? And anything that talks about that pain and how a solution, whether there is a solution to take that pain away, I'm immediately going to pay attention to that. Right? So if I see a lot of websites that talk about chiropractors, I will ignore it. But if I see a website or something that says lower backache, sitting a lot on in front of your computer, here's the solution. I will pay attention to that, right? So it's very important to not only know the niche, but to get into the minds of the clients in that niche and understand what are the pain points that they are trying to get rid of. Why are they seeking your solution to solve what problem? That's critically important, okay? Then you offer them a unique solution to solve that problem, right? And you want to be the specialist, right? Because prospects are willing to pay double the price if they get 4 times the value. And I'm going to show you how to set that up, right? But very importantly now, understand your prospects, understand the problem they're trying to solve, right? That your products or services can solve, and understand what's top of mind for them, because that's what they're going to be looking for, right? Okay. So mistake number 2 is you then don't bring any advantage to the market, right? So let's say you've now got a niche grouping, right? How do you make yourself more advantageous than anybody else in the market, right? So you're going to ask yourself, what is your market dominating position so that you can be the big fish in that small pond, right? How can you dominate? What is a market dominating position? It represents some or other advantage your business provides to your prospects, and that no one else in your industry or niche provides. And it's something that your prospects or customers want. Okay? If they don't want it, then it's a bit of a problem. So let me give you an example. Here's a company called Bannerbox, really good box company, but I want you to put yourself in Bannerbox's shoes. When they started, this company was many years ago. When they started this company, they were selling these cardboard boxes to package goods, right? All kinds of retail goods. Now, imagine that was your business. How would you market your new business, your box business to companies, right? They're all, you know, the guys that are producing retail products already have box companies. They're running around with box companies, right? So how are you going to get them to buy your stuff, right? So you need an advantage. You need that market dominating position. Okay. So this is what they did, right? We can have boxes designed, produced, and landed on your dock in 4 hours guaranteed, right? So what they did was they looked internally and they saw, hey, with our new production facility, we can provide rush shipments to our customers in our geographic area, right? Without creating any additional bottlenecks in production. In fact, if they send us the design, we can design it, we can produce it, and we can deliver it within 4 hours, right? That's an advantage that nobody else actually has, right? So they then started to produce ads that said this: suppose you unexpectedly ran out of boxes and had to shut down your production line for 3 days. Do you have a backup plan? So they started to look at the ideal target market, right? And they said, what are the pain points that these guys have? Well, they're happy with their box manufacturer, except when they run out of boxes. Because when they run out of boxes and their production line stands and the manufacturer doesn't have the replacement boxes ready, I lose a ton of money. I'm paying salaries, I'm not selling, my clients are unhappy. That's a terrible thing. So he focused his advantage on their pain points, right? You can see here's another one. Don't let a depleted supply of shipping boxes shut down your assembly line. Call us and have any custom box designed, produced, and delivered to your dock in just 4 hours. Okay. Never run out of shipping boxes again, and never keep more than 2 weeks supply on hand. Right? So you can see how he was playing towards not just, if you need boxes, buy my stuff, but hey guys, if you've got these pain points, right, with your guys. Okay. Now your advantage or uniqueness does not need to be in your product or service. It might lie in the way you package, deliver, support, or even sell your products and services, right? So like Evian water sells for 25 times more than other, bottled water. It's very good bottled water, but why does it sell for that? Well, it's not only high quality water, but they targeted, upper end establishments, top class hotels, etc., that wanted not only quality water, but something on the table that would reflect the hotel's image, right? So Evian designed a glass bottle. They went to a fashion designer, designed a glass bottle. It's embossed, it's engraved, it's a beautiful bottle that they sell to those top-end hotels, and they have massive margins on those particular products, right? So water is water. The advantage doesn't lie in the water, although the water is good and has certain minerals and properties, but it's about the way they've packaged it, delivered it, who it's for, how they supported it, that made it so attractive. So if you're struggling to find your advantage, right, there are 3 categories you should look at, right? Do an internal analysis and then have a look at, are you better than your competitors, or are there spaces where competitors are really weak in this? So first thing is look at convenience. Can you offer far more convenience than anybody else, right? Look at location, availability of product, your ordering process, your delivery, your payment terms, your miscellaneous services that you can add, etc. The second thing is look at speed. Can you deliver something or manufacture it faster than anybody else? Okay, that was Bannerbox. That was their key advantage, right? Education and training. Can you provide NOAA education and training better than anybody else, faster than anybody else, more effective than anybody else? Can you remove all the potential purchase risk? Quality. So Evian Waters was all about that perception of quality, right? Security and safety is another category. Then the second category is selection. Do you have a wider selection of goods than anybody else? Okay? So Netflix versus new startups. Netflix range is much wider than anybody else's. So why would anybody pick anyone other than Netflix as an example? Category 3 is pricing. So look at your pricing. Can you go fixed pricing if the industry is doing something else? Can you go single pricing when there's multiple pricing? Can you increase or decrease the price you charge? So Evian Water, for example, charge higher gives the perception that their product is higher quality as well. But so changing the pricing has an impact on the perception as well. And then offering small value-added services. So there's a whole range of things, and you need to really sit down and work through this and think about your advantage. Mistake number 3, you look similar to competitors in the eyes of your prospects, right? So ask yourself openly and honestly why anyone would choose you over your competition, right? Most businesses sound exactly the same as their competitors, and they use the same tired old jargon that nobody believes anymore, right? Most professional, we lowest prices, the highest quality, we got the best service. We've been in business since 1862. There's 1,001 jargons and slogans. Nobody believes that stuff, anymore. So a quick way you can evaluate your own marketing and make sure you're avoiding all of that jargon is take a look at your marketing material, right? And then scratch out your name and write your competitor's name, in its place. And, if it fits, well, then you're not differentiated. So take example of a kitchen renovator. They say we do certified subcontractors, guaranteed satisfaction, new cabinets installed, complete cabinet redesign, right? But if you scratch out your ABC kitchen and you put XYZ kitchen, that could fit just as well, right? So nothing unique, nothing compelling, just saying the same things that everybody else says, right? So here's the reality. You could pick a great niche and you could have a great advantage. But regardless of how good you are internally, your prospect isn't able to figure out that inside reality, usually based on the poor messaging, right? You might be the best well-kept secret, but unless you really bring it to them, they're not going to be able to see that. Right? That's a big mistake. Like that kitchen renovator that I showed you, right? So, after this training, hop onto your website, look at your ads, look at your brochures, and see, is it instantly obvious, very specifically and quantifiably, what makes you better and unique and different to anybody else in the market, right? So here's the key. You need to create a unique selling proposition statement that makes your business the logical choice for your prospects. And your USP is one or more unique reasons why someone should buy from you and not your competitors. And it's not a logo, it's not a slogan or a marketing catchphrase or anything like that, right? It's hard-hitting and specific. It talks about specific benefits. It's benefits focused, and it makes you unique. So in other words, no one else can really say what you say. Okay. So here's an example. Let's say you in the construction industry, and you're looking to litigate against somebody else, and you hop on to Google, you look for litigation attorneys, and you come across a website that says, or lots of websites, we do litigation, conveyancing, commercial contracts, and any general legal services, call us, right? And then you hop onto one specific website that says, we specialize for litigation in the construction industry. We won't take on your case unless we're fairly sure we'll win. And when we do, we won't charge you a cent until we've won. And then we'll only charge you a percentage of the award. So which website do you go to first? I think it's quite obvious. You go to the second one. Right? Imagine you're a young family looking for homes in an area where a lot of young up-and-coming families are purchasing. And you now need to, find an estate agent that can show you around. So you see all these signs up, we're estate agents, we buy, sell, and rent properties in your area. They all say that. But you come across one that says, we help young families buy bigger homes than they think they can afford. Yeah. Whose door do you go knock on first? Right? The one that shows you the advantage and the benefits. Okay. Here's one I came across that I think is really, really great, right? We help you build a great company by enabling you to hire top performers more consistently. And if you look at this person's LinkedIn profile, running an online platform that guides companies and managers towards at least a 90% success rate in hiring top performers every time. Right? Technology that guarantees hiring success. So you can immediately see the benefit that you're going to get of engaging with this company. And you can see their competitive advantage that they've created with this technology, right? So they've innovated in their business to create an advantage. Just like Bannerbox innovated in their business and then saw that they have an advantage. Right? Okay. So your market dominating position is the entire key to success in your business. So whatever you do, don't shortchange this critical business fundamental. Okay. So to recap, there are three things you need to do, right? Three things you need to look at. Number one, you need to pick a niche that you can dominate, right? And you need to understand the pain points of the ideal customer in that niche so that you can satisfy those pain points, because that's what they're searching for, right? Number two, you need to have some kind of advantage in your business that helps you to solve those pain points better than anybody else. And if you don't have an advantage, then you've got to innovate in your business around those pain points so that you do get an advantage. Right? And then the third thing is you've got to have your messaging right. You've got to create a USP that immediately attracts your ideal client when they're looking for a solution to their pain point. They can immediately see the benefits. They immediately see this as a solution, and they want to come and speak, with you. If you don't do that, you're going to remain undifferentiated, bland, saying the same thing as everybody else, and then there's no reason to pick you. Okay, guys, so what I'd like to do is I've sent you the link to this worksheet. And I'd like to just run you through that and show you what you need to do, the homework you need to do to be able to create that USP and differentiate yourself. So if you have got that worksheet open, then I would suggest you have a pen available at the ready so you can jot down some ideas about what to do, right? So there are a series of questions. The first set of questions are really about your ideal client, who they are, this niche you're trying to hone into. If you have this information that I'm going to show you, you'll be able to create a good USP. The second part's about your advantage, right? And then the third part is really creating that USP. Okay. So I'm going to use an example of, let's say, a very simple little business, right? But this applies to any business of, much bigger businesses, B2B, B2C, doesn't matter, right? Principles are the same. So let me take a very simple business like a nursery school, right? How to differentiate themselves from everybody else, right? So the niche that they're going after is moms or dads needing to place their children in a nursery school, but they're professional types. So they're usually in their late 20s or early 30s. They have a little bit more cash available than the 19-year-old newlyweds or single parents and so on. That's their niche that they want to dominate. But they've got all these other nursery schools around them as well, right? So the second step then, what you need to ask yourself, if that's your niche, what needs or frustrations and fears or pain points do your prospects experience that is going to motivate them to go look for a nursery school or to buy your products or services? Okay? So get into the minds of your clients, understand the problems that they have that they don't want, right? So the problems that they're sitting with is things like potentially they're frustrated by interruptions during the day when working from home, not getting the expected work delivered as a result, right? Because they're busy running after little Johnny or whatever, right? Fear of being perceived as not fully committed, resulting in the career being sidetracked. Remember, you're targeting professional types who are a little bit older, well onto their career development track, right? So they're worried that, the boss is going to pass them over because they're not available at key times, etc. And then they're concerned that their child is not receiving the social and developmental exposure at home that they would get at nursery school, right? So those could be the things that are top of mind for your ideal client. So you got to think about that. Put yourself in their shoes and think about particularly the pain points, right? People move to solve pain points. They don't necessarily move for, to be attracted to something. It's, Bart Simpson lying on the couch. If you offer him a donut, a nice glazed donut, he's too lazy to get up for that nice donut, right? But if he's starving hungry, right? If he's starving hungry, top of the mind is my stomach's grumbling. Let me jump up in a sec. Okay. So pain motivates more than anything else. So think about your client's pain points, right? Then the next thing, what do your prospects feel they need and expect as a result of their purchase? So what would they expect? So for this market, it might be a nursery school that doesn't just look after my child. But, I'm not looking for a babysitter, but somebody that stimulates, develops, and prepares them for primary school. Because professionals themselves are learning-orientated people, development type people, and they're going to want that for their children, right? They want a caring place where the staff, looks after the children as if it was their own children. They don't want to just plonk them down there, and then there's untrained people wiping their noses and don't pay attention to them because they're too busy having lunch and that kind of thing, right? And a place they can entrust the care of their child to, right? So they want to know with confidence that someone's going to really be looking after my child, right? What would your prospects be delighted to receive as a result of their purchase that could reasonably be expected of them, right? Well, maybe they're thinking, the biggest challenge I have is I'm busy. I'm busy during the day. If I pick up the phone to phone somebody at the nursery school because I've got an important message to relay or something, I need to get a hold of somebody. And I can't have people just phoning me at any point in time because I'm in meetings and all the rest of it, right? So they want, ideally, some kind of system of rapid communication where there's instant engagement about what is happening in little Johnny's life or what is needed or whatever's asked for, etc. Right? That would be delighted. If we could have a nursery school where we could engage like that on a real-time basis, that would be awesome. Yeah. Okay. then what problems, frustrations, or challenges do your prospects expect to face when dealing with your industry in general? So in your industry type, there's usually lots of frustrations. And I'll show you later, this is great fruit for your guarantees and warranties, right? So maybe the things that frustrate them or things like that, you know, these nursery schools take on poorly qualified teachers and help, or, you know, they just slack on safety protocols, not happy about those kind of things, or there's no true development program with measured milestones, that kind of thing, right? Those are the kind of challenges I expect, or, you know, I can never speak to the right people, or whatever it is, right? And then what potential problems, frustrations, or risks do your prospects really dread when they buy or sell, you know, your product, or they're buying your product? So it's a thing that's going to stop them from buying because they're not sure. So it's things like, you know, I'm not sure my child is going to be taken care of as expected. And I know some of these nursery schools hide things away, right? Instead of telling me. That's one thing I'm worried about. They're not open, right? They neglect to be vigilant, and there's an accident. That's something I dread, right? And they take the one sibling, but they can't guarantee the next one a place. So what's the point of that, right? So I need, those are the things that really frustrate the hell out of me, okay? And then what would be good for your prospects to know as they make their buying decision that's not typically understood about your industry? Now, here, guys, is a great opportunity for you to take like a contrarian point of view, right? The whole industry thinks like this, but guys, we think like this, and this is why, right? So it could be things like most nursery schools are glorified babysitters. Our approach is to proactively develop a child through programs designed by experts, nutrition that enhances well-being, and social caring environment. We see you, the parent, as part of the school and the team so that we have systems in place to ensure we fully engage meaningfully and often so that you are part of their development day, even when you're not there. Okay? So if you can take a contrarian view, it differentiates you from everybody else. Okay? So that takes some thinking, often takes some thinking, but it can be immensely valuable, especially for your target audience. Remember, you're trying to be a big fish in a small pond. It might not resonate with everybody in a big pond, but for your pond, this resonates. Okay? Right, so now we start to look at almost your internals, right? What advantages does your business have to allow you to uniquely deliver not only what your prospects expect, but will also delight them? So you go back and you look at what do they expect? What will really delight them, right? And if you haven't got an advantage that solves some of those pain points or frustrations, then you've got to spend some time thinking about how to innovate in your business so that you do, because this is critically important, right? So in this case, that communication was a big issue for those professional clients, right? And not knowing what's happening to their kid, you know, feelings of guilt and all that kind of thing with mommy. They've innovated and they've created a unique child cam app that provides you, the parent, with the following. You can see instant video access to see your child any time of the day, right? Cameras in all the right places. You click and you have a look on your app and you can see what little Johnny's doing, right? Then there's built-in WhatsApp-like communication functionality with your child's teacher, right? So you can WhatsApp them, all right? Even if you're in a meeting and you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs or whatever, you can send a quick WhatsApp and expect a response, right? A homework and notes section for daily reminders about what your child needs to do today or tomorrow, bring to school, an events calendar, right? Of school concert or whatever it is, a hotline in the event of an emergency, right? So a beautiful, beautiful tool that brings you into the school anytime, 24/7. Right? Beautiful, beautiful. Right? No other nursery school has potentially got that. Right? What kind of information will give your prospects assurances about their buying decision? Right? Well, we're going to have video testimonials on our website of happy parents, right? We're going to do an assessment of our development program results by an independent assessment authority to certify, hey guys, we've got a real development program, right? Kids don't just come and watch Barney on TV during the day, right? There's progress. And then we're going to get the bios and qualifications and experience of all our teachers, including background checks, and we're going to put that on the app as well. So you can see exactly who it is that we're bringing into the school to look after your little Johnny, right? What kind of information can you give your prospects to emphasize the uniqueness of the company, right? Well, maybe it's a comparison of our program with that of a top-rated peer institution, right? So maybe it's like a 12-point checklist where we tick all 12 and everybody else ticks 4, 5, 3, whatever, right? That shows potentially how unique you are. And then what assurance can you give your prospects that they will not experience, that they will not experience what they dread if they buy from you? And this is where we look at guarantees and risk reversal. So maybe you put something together like our 3-point guarantee. We only employ top-rated teachers who meet our standards and values that will look after your children. Once we have placed your first child, we guarantee a place for siblings. We will fully assess your child every quarter and provide a comprehensive report. We will at all times provide you with child cam access, even during load shedding, right? And here's the key to a good guarantee, right? Anybody can say, I guarantee A, B, C, D, but if there's pain for you, in the event of the guarantee being called, that gives a lot more credibility. So for example, or else we'll provide your next quarter's fees for free. That's real pain. It means you're putting your money where your mouth is. Okay, so guys, once you have all of that information together, you've got all the info that you need to be able to create a really, really good, unique selling proposition. Okay. So here's a couple of formats you can use. We help X get Y so they can get certain benefits, or get X within Y timeframe. So as an example, taking that information now about what their real hot buttons are and what the ideal solution would be for them and the things that they worry about, right? And I could create something that says, we give you instant child cam video access while taking care of your child, giving you the confidence to develop your career and be a great parent. Okay, something along those lines. Or perhaps it could be, we are the only nursery school that gives you instant child cam video access while taking care of your child. Yeah. But you want to package that so that the benefit to the prospect is immediately clear and it talks to their pain points, right? Then, so create a couple of those, right? Create 2, 3, 4 of those, and then test it with your ideal clients and start to see which one resonates, right? Strong believer in testing. You'll find one or the other really resonates a lot more. And like any marketing professional will tell you, it's rare that you get your first one right 100% first time. It often needs a little bit of thinking, iteration, and feedback from your prospects. And then spend a little bit of time thinking about your risk reversal or guarantee. Right? So we will at all times provide you with child cam access, even during load shedding, or else we'll give you your next quarter's fees for free. Whatever it is that you can guarantee. Maybe it's not the performance results, maybe it has to do with the way you deliver your service. As another example, let's say you're a medical doctor, and one of the pain points of your client base is that doctors are always late, right? So the doctor is going to find it very difficult to guarantee any health fix, if I can call it that, right? But they can maybe guarantee that there's going to be no wait time if they really get themselves sorted. So we guarantee that you will be seen within 5 minutes of your appointment, or otherwise you don't pay for the consultation. Okay. Doctor can then go and sit down and try and figure out how to do that. Right? But that would be a fantastic guarantee. So guys, before I go on to the Q&A section, in the template that I sent out, at the back is another section, right? At the back is another section over here, where you take the same information and you create a differentiating elevator pitch. So that's the answer to, so what does your business do? And what you want to try and do here is not only tell them the benefits that they're going to get are working from you, but why you're different, right? So you can take the information and complete this as well. So you would, if somebody asks you, so what do? You might start with something like, well, let me first tell you why we do what we do. So do you know how professional parents are really feeling harried and feeling that feeling concerned that their child at home is not getting developed while their career is also being negatively impacted? What they want is to have a place where they know they can place their child. There'll be great development, but where they know and can see and communicate with their child almost instantaneously, right? What most people do, nursery schools, to try and overcome those challenges is, give a telephone number to call. The consequences is they never get hold of, parents never get hold of the teachers, or the teachers never get hold of the parents at the right time. What they should do instead, so this is where you start to differentiate yourself. What they should do instead is have an automated system that allows people video and instant communication access. The results will be, and this is now what the parents want, the results will be they can view their children online anytime and communicate via text or video, almost like WhatsApp. That's what we do, right? This enables our parents to get the following, to do the following, so they can get these benefits. They can sleep confident at night, knowing Johnny is getting great development and is being taken care of, and know that they're giving their careers the best chance of development. Right? So you can see how this differentiates you and gives you a real edge to, so what is it that you do, your business does? Well, we run a nursery school. No, guys, that's not how you attract your ideal prospects and become the big fish in the big pond.